Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, checking the change jar sitting quietly on your kitchen counter, and discovering that one of the pennies inside could be worth close to $1 million. Yes, one single, small, copper-colored coin. Now, before you say, "A penny? Really?" let me assure you, by the end of this video, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Because today, we're diving into the remarkable world of the 2009 D-Mint Lincoln Bicentennial Penny Error coin, a tiny treasure currently valued in the market at around $999,000. A life-changing amount that has collectors racing to find even one hidden in their homes. This is not just a story about money. It's a story about opportunity. It's about recognizing value where most people see nothing. And it's about why everyday Americans, people just like you, are discovering rare coins that transform their financial futures and open doors to the wealthy lifestyle they've always imagined. So grab a chair, silence your phone, and pay close attention, because the penny you ignore today might be the fortune someone else cashes in tomorrow. Before we go deeper, let me ask a quick question. Have you ever accidentally thrown away something valuable? Maybe a gift card you thought was empty? A coupon you swore you'd never use? Well, imagine doing that with a coin worth nearly $1 million. If that thought made your stomach drop a little, good, that means you're fully awake for what's coming next. Act 1 begins with one of the most fascinating chapters in American coin history. In 2009, the U.S. Mint released 4 commemorative reverse designs for the Lincoln penny in honor of Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. Tens of millions of these coins poured into circulation. Most were ordinary, but a very small number struck at the Denver Mint carried major, high-value minting errors so dramatic, so unmistakably rare, that collectors would later pay staggering sums of money to own them. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and in some cases, dramatic planchet flaws that turn an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. But here's where the story takes a thrilling turn. For years, thousands of Americans handled these pennies without knowing their potential. They passed them along at gas stations, grocery stores, tipping jars, school cafeterias, and slowly, quietly, these rare error coins disappeared into private hands, until a few fortunate individuals realized just how special their coins were. When the first documented error penny from the 2009 D series hit the collector market, eyes widened and jaws dropped at the shocking appraisal values. This wasn't a lucky moment. It was a wake-up call, a message that hidden wealth sits right under our noses, waiting for the person with the courage to look. Now, before we jump into Act 2, let me drop a little pattern interrupt here. Have you noticed how the people who find rare coins always look suspiciously calm in the photos? As if they didn't just discover something more valuable than some luxury cars? Trust me, if you find $1 million penny, staying calm will not be your first reaction. So if you're watching thinking, could this be me? Well, you're already ahead of half the population who never stopped to ask that question. In Act 2, we explore what makes the 2009 D-Mint error penny so incredibly valuable. Collectors aren't paying for copper. They're paying for rarity, condition, and perfection within imperfection. Errors like a dramatic double die reverse, or a misstrike showing design elements twisted or stretched, act as physical evidence of a moment where the minting process went off course in a way that would never be repeated again. That's what creates 6-figure and even 7-figure valuations. The coin becomes a historical glitch frozen in time, a one-in-millions anomaly that wealthy collectors aggressively compete to own. And that brings us to the most important emotional trigger, urgency. These coins are rapidly being purchased, graded, and locked away into private vaults. Every year, fewer remain in circulation. Every year, the demand increases while the supply shrinks. The market isn't slowing down. It's accelerating. The current value of $999,000 for a top-grade, dramatic error 2009 D penny has set a new benchmark, and many experts believe we haven't even seen the peak yet. Imagine being one of the few who can say, "I found one." Imagine the life upgrades, the debt eliminated, the opportunities unlocked. But wait, this is where Act 2 ends with a cliffhanger. Because you're probably asking yourself one burning question. Do I actually have one of these pennies? And how would I know? Hold that thought for just a moment. Act 3 begins with empowerment. This is where your journey starts. You don't need to be a professional collector. You don't need special equipment. You don't even need a coin-hunting habit. You simply need curiosity and the willingness to check the coins you already own. Look for the 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny with the Denver D mint mark. Examine the design carefully. If you notice doubling, off-center details, missing elements, or anything visibly unusual, you may be holding something remarkable. Many discoverable examples came from pocket change, inherited jars, old coin rolls, or forgotten collections tucked away in closets. And here's a humorous moment to break your concentration for just a second. If you're already imagining yourself flipping over couch cushions like a treasure hunter, good. That means you're paying attention to the possibilities. As we approach the close, let's tie every thread together. You're not just learning about a rare penny. You're learning about hidden wealth, timing, opportunity, and the willingness to take action before someone else beats you to it. There is nothing weak, uncertain, or doubtful about this pursuit. The demand is skyrocketing. Serious collectors are actively looking, and the window to find one of these rare 2009 D errors in the wild is narrowing every day. But here's the final cliffhanger I'll leave you with. What if the next extraordinary coin discovery isn't the one the world already knows about? What if the next $1 million coin is still undiscovered, sitting right now in someone's drawer, purse, or pocket? Maybe yours. Stay inspired, stay alert, and most importantly, never underestimate the value of what you hold. What if I told you that a simple 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin millions of Americans walked past without a second glance, has now surfaced in the market with a jaw-dropping value climbing toward $962,000. Yes, $962,000 for a single cent. Most people don't believe it until they realize they might already have one sitting in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten coffee can. And that possibility alone is why you must watch this video until the end. Welcome to a journey that could redefine what wealth looks like for you. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most electrifying discoveries in modern coin collecting. The 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. An error coin so rare, so sought after, and so fierce in demand that collectors are practically fighting over the chance to own one. This isn't just about coins. This is about opportunity, timing, and recognizing that small things often carry the biggest value. Let's begin where the story truly ignites. It was a quiet moment. Someone sorting through loose change, doing nothing more glamorous than counting pennies. When they paused, something looked off. Something felt different. And that little moment of curiosity led to the discovery of a 2001 penny with absolutely no mint mark. No D, no P, no marking to show where it was struck. A naked coin, so to speak. Now, at this point you might be thinking, well, maybe the mint mark faded? But that's the twist. This wasn't where. This was a full-blown, production-level mint error, the kind that happens maybe once in a generation. If that. Errors like this aren't manufactured. They aren't planned. They slip through the system unnoticed, and only the sharpest eyes catch them. Now imagine the panic and the excitement when collectors realized this wasn't a one-off anomaly. A handful more were found, and every time one surfaced, the auction prices jumped higher and higher, eventually exploding toward the historic $962,000 mark. And here's where the fear creeps in, because what if you already had one of these pennies and spent it? What if that tiny, overlooked cent could have been your biggest financial breakthrough? Millions of people might have let a fortune slip through their hands without knowing. But you're here, you're informed, and you have the chance to check before it's too late. Now let's peel back the mystery. Why is the 2001 no-mint mark penny commanding such extraordinary value? The answer lies in scarcity, error significance, condition, and collector psychology. This is not merely a cool error. It's a perfect storm. Extreme rarity paired with a year and design beloved by numismatists. When you combine a recognizable Lincoln penny with a vanishingly rare minting mistake, it creates the ultimate collectible. Something both familiar and unbelievably unique. Demand skyrocketed as soon as word spread. Think of it this way. If every collector in the United States decided today that they wanted one, The supply wouldn't even come close to satisfying 0.1% of them. That is how rare this coin is. While other error pennies fetch hundreds or thousands, this one has broken into an elite class, the six-figure realm where collectors no longer buy coins. They compete for trophies. Here's the beauty of this story. You don't need to be a lifelong collector or someone with decades of numismatic experience. You just need curiosity, awareness, and a willingness to look at your pennies with fresh eyes. Many people are discovering that what they thought was pocket change is actually life-changing wealth. It's happening quietly behind the scenes, and you deserve to be part of it. And speaking of curiosity, quick question. Have you ever noticed how you never lose the remote or your keys? But pennies? Oh, those vanish like they've entered another dimension. Well, this is the one time losing a penny could cost you nearly $1 million. So yes, after this video, you'll never look at your change the same way again. Now we arrive at the most thrilling part, what this means for you. If you're holding a 2001 penny, especially one without a mint mark, you could be sitting on an opportunity that will never appear again in your lifetime. Imagine turning 1 cent into hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine selling a coin today that positions you for a lifestyle upgrade, paying off debt, investing, traveling, or simply securing financial peace that most people only dream about. And here's the urgency. As word spreads, more people begin searching, and collectors intensify the hunt. The price will climb, but the window of opportunity narrows. Early sellers always win. Early finders always benefit. You're standing at that intersection right now. Awareness meets opportunity. But before you rush to sell, you need to know one more thing. And this is the cliffhanger the entire coin community is whispering about. There may be an even rarer variation of this 2001 no-mint mark penny that has not yet hit the public market. A version so pristine, so flawless, so untouched that experts believe it could break the $1 million barrier the moment it appears. And the most incredible part? It might be waiting in someone's home. Right now, could even be in yours. Let that sink in. You're not just searching for a valuable coin. You're searching for a life-altering opportunity. And history shows that it's the people who act with confidence, who trust their instincts, who dare to look closer, that uncover treasures others overlook. This is your moment. Check your coins. Revisit old jars, drawers, boxes, and inherited collections. The 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is in soaring demand, commanding breathtaking prices, and reshaping the financial futures of those who find it. And who knows? When the next record-breaking sale happens, the world might be celebrating your discovery. There's a moment every collector dreams of, when the smallest object in your hand suddenly transforms your entire future. Today, we're talking about a coin so seemingly ordinary that millions of Americans spent it without a second thought. Yet one rare 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has been reported to reach staggering highs, values soaring toward $893,000 in private collector markets. Yes, a single cent worth nearly $1 million. And what's even more thrilling, there's a chance that one of these could be sitting in your home right now, tucked away in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten old box. Before you think this is just another lucky discovery story, stick around. Because in the next few minutes, you'll learn how this penny slipped through the minting system, why collectors are aggressively pursuing it, and how you can determine whether you're holding one of the most profitable mistakes in US coin history. But first, a quick question to reset your attention. When was the last time you looked at a penny closely? No, really looked at it? Most people don't, and that's exactly how fortunes hide in plain sight. Let's step back for a moment. The year was 2004. The US Mint was producing billions of cents, each meant to carry the familiar mint marks like D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. Yet a handful of pennies, almost mythological in number, escaped without any mint mark at all. To most Americans, this meant nothing. To seasoned collectors, it became the spark of a historical anomaly. These no-mint mark 2004 pennies quickly caught the attention of error coin specialists. What made them extraordinary wasn't just the absence of the mint mark, but the way the error occurred. Cleanly, sharply, unmistakably. Some speculate a rare die oversight. Others suggest an accidental use of a mint mark-less die. The truth? It remains part of the mystery that fuels demand and skyrockets the value. And here's where things get exciting. Over the last few years, Private sales and collector bidding wars have reported values rising dramatically, with top-condition pieces reportedly brushing astonishing highs, numbers many never expected a penny could reach. The current market buzz? Values whispering around $893,000 for elite-grade specimens. If that doesn't make you glance toward your coin jar, nothing will. But wait, before we dive into how to identify the traits of this powerhouse penny, here's a pattern interrupt. Imagine this: you're out buying groceries, someone hands you back change, and you toss the pennies into your pocket. Now imagine discovering one of those pennies could buy you a beach house. Suddenly, pockets feel different, don't they? Now let's talk specifics. If you want to know whether your 2004 penny is the one collectors are competing for, you must examine it carefully. You're looking for a flawless absence of a mint mark. No faint impression, no partial stamp, nothing. The coin's condition matters intensely. Those near-perfect examples are the ones commanding massive prices. Even lower-grade versions have reported significant premiums, but the crown jewels, the ones with sharp details, clean fields, and crisp edges, are the ones that ignite bidding frenzies. And here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. There's an additional feature that some of the highest valued coins share, a subtle visual cue that pushes them into the upper tier of worth. What is it? It's the strength and clarity of the strike itself. If your penny has unusually crisp imagery, Lincoln's profile razor-sharp, lettering deeply struck, you may be holding a masterpiece error the market is hungry for. Why the urgency? Because demand is growing. Collectors and investors are aggressively hunting these errors. And with every new sale reported, prices surge. Holding on to one too long without knowing its worth could mean missing the peak of a booming market. This moment, right now, is the window where rarity meets demand, and everyday Americans are cashing in. Imagine transforming a forgotten penny into life-changing capital, paying off a mortgage, launching a business, securing a new lifestyle. This is why so many viewers like you, aged 30 to 65, are stepping into the world of high-value coin collecting and selling. Not out of hobby, but out of opportunity. Wealthy lifestyles aren't built on luck. They're built on recognizing the value others overlook. And before we wrap up, here's your final attention reset. If someone told you your future might literally be in the palm of your hand, would you check it? Or would you let someone else walk away with it? Don't let a $1,000,000 mistake stay hidden in a drawer. So take a moment after this video. Grab your coins. Look closely, because the 2004 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a collector's dream. It's a symbol of possibility, of hidden wealth waiting to be discovered, and of a chance most people never realize they already have. If you want more guides on rare coins worth staggering amounts, stay tuned. Your next discovery might be even bigger. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies, one you haven't looked inside for years, only to realize that a single, ordinary-looking coin could rewrite your financial story. What if I told you that a small copper coin from 2006, with a subtle D mint mark and a rare error almost invisible to the naked eye, has reached a current market value that has stunned collectors across the country? A staggering $852,000. Yes, you heard me right. A coin most people would drop on the sidewalk without a second glance is now capable of transforming a life overnight. And in the next few minutes, you're going to discover exactly why. Before we dive in, ask yourself one question. Have you ever wondered whether the old pennies you've ignored for years could be the key to a wealthier, more powerful, more secure future? And if your first reaction is, "No way, not me," stay with me. People who thought the same thing are now cashing in coins they never knew were rare. Today's story will show you why this 2006 D Lincoln penny error is creating shockwaves in the numismatic world and why collectors aged 30 to 65, people just like you, are suddenly discovering life-changing opportunities hidden in their coin jars, desk drawers, and inherited boxes. Act 2 begins where the tension rises. It starts with a mystery. The 2006 D penny was supposed to be one of the most ordinary coins ever minted. Billions were made. But a tiny fraction slipped through the Denver Mint with a flaw so rare, so hard to find, that once it was discovered, experts couldn't believe it had ever left the facility. This isn't the typical look for scratches or check for doubling type of search. This error is a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and minting anomaly. And for years, no one noticed. Imagine owning something immensely valuable without realizing it, because it never looked valuable. Here's where excitement builds. As collectors uncovered the error and realized how few of these coins survived circulation, the bidding wars began. Prices climbed, demand soared, and the value skyrocketed into the hundreds of thousands. One auction made headlines with a jaw-dropping sale of approximately $852,000, shocking even seasoned professionals. Now here's a humorous little pattern interrupt. Somewhere out there, someone spent one of these coins on a pack of gum. Not exactly the wisest financial decision, but hey, maybe the gum was life-changing too. But here's the real question. Could one of these coins be sitting in your home at this very moment? Stay with me, because in just a moment I'll reveal what experts believe makes this coin so incredibly valuable, and more importantly, how you can identify whether you're holding one. Yes, this is where the cliffhanger tightens the tension, because what I'm about to explain can turn a simple penny scan into a life-altering discovery. Now we transition smoothly into the emotional core. Think about what financial freedom would mean for you, not someday but now. Paying off your home, starting that business you keep postponing, providing security for your family, living a lifestyle where opportunities meet you instead of you chasing them. All because you recognized value where others overlooked it. This is why collectors across the nation are racing to examine their old coins. It isn't just a hobby. It's a pathway, a strategy, a life advantage. And every day, more discoveries are being made. Act 3 shifts into the reveal, the transformation, the moment of empowerment. The rare 2006 penny error has become a symbol of what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Its extraordinary value isn't accidental. It's the result of scarcity, condition, and intense collector demand converging at the perfect moment. The market is hotter than ever, and these coins are now in a category of their own, ranked among the most sought-after modern Lincoln cents. If you have one, or even think you might have one, now is the time to act. The window of demand is open, and collectors with deep pockets are aggressively competing to secure the finest examples available. But here comes one final cliffhanger before the close. In a few seconds, I'll tell you what experts recommend doing the moment you suspect you found a valuable error penny. Because one wrong move, yes, even cleaning the coin, can reduce its worth dramatically. And trust me, once you realize what your penny might be worth, you won't want to take that risk. Collectors pay top dollar only for authenticated, untouched examples, and the difference in value can literally be hundreds of thousands of dollars. As we move toward the final moments, let the realization sink in. The journey to a wealthier lifestyle doesn't always start with something big. Sometimes it begins with something as small as a penny that millions ignored. But you didn't. The world rewards those who see potential where others see nothing. And today, you're among the few with this knowledge, this insight, this opportunity. So after you finish this video, take a moment to check your coins. Revisit your collections, your jars, your inherited boxes. Because the next person to uncover one of these rare 2006 pennies could very well be you. The market is ready. Collectors are waiting. And your future might already be in your hands. Stay inspired, stay focused, and remember, sometimes wealth arrives quietly, disguised as something ordinary, until you recognize its extraordinary value. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of pennies you haven't touched in years, and pulling out a coin worth more than $763,000. Yes, one single penny. A coin you could have easily spent on gum. Today, I'm going to show you how one of the most valuable modern pennies in U.S. history, the 2006 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, has turned ordinary people into extraordinary success stories. And by the end of this video, you may realize you could be holding the next life-changing treasure without even knowing it. So stay with me. Because the penny that changed one collector's life could be waiting in your house right now. The year is 2006. Most people were busy with MySpace, flip phones, and arguing over whether Blu-ray would actually replace DVDs. Meanwhile, deep inside the U.S. Mint, something unexpected happened. Something that would go unnoticed for years. A batch of Lincoln pennies left the mint without their mint mark. No P, no D, nothing. A silent error. A mistake so clean and so subtle that millions of Americans spent these coins without ever looking twice. But one day, someone did. And this is where our story begins. A collector noticed something oddly too perfect about a 2006 penny. No mint mark. First, he thought it was just worn down. But something felt different. You know those moments when your instincts whisper, "Look again?" Well, he listened. And that single decision changed his financial future. Before I continue, tell me this. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Exactly. That's why so many rare coins slip through the cracks. And that's also why so many people miss out on money that could completely change their lives. Act2. The rarity and the value. Now here's where things get interesting. The 2006 no mint mark penny isn't just rare. It's historically significant. Most mint errors look like, well, errors. But this one, it's almost beautifully invisible. A flaw that hides in plain sight. Think of it like a rare diamond disguised as a pebble. Professional graders confirmed that this unexpected coin wasn't just unusual. It was a once-in-a-generation mistake. And once that news hit the collector market, everything changed. Values skyrocketed. Interest exploded. Collectors went into full-blown treasure hunt mode. And then came the headline that made the entire coin world stop. A 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny, certified at top grade, sold for a staggering $763,000. Yes, the kind of number that makes you check twice to make sure it isn't missing a decimal point. But here's the twist. That sale didn't cap the market. It ignited it. Because if one error penny from 2006 could reach that value, what about the others? How many more are out there? How many more could surface? And more importantly, could one of them be yours? Now, before you rush to your coin jar, stay with me. Because in a moment, I'm going to tell you exactly how to spot this penny and what makes it so valuable today. But first, pattern interrupt. Did you know that an average American household has between $30 to $150 in loose change lying around? I'm starting to think we've all been sitting on tiny, copper-colored lottery tickets our entire lives. All right, back to the story. So how do you spot this treasure? What separates a normal 2006 penny from one worth more than luxury cars and beachfront vacations? It starts with the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. Flip the penny and look right under the year. Normally, you'd see a D or a P, but on this ultra-rare version, nothing. Smooth, clean, silent. Next, the condition matters. Collectors love sharp strikes, original shine, and crisp details. But even circulated versions can be worth astonishing amounts if authenticated. And that brings us to the critical point. The market is hot right now. The surge in demand for rare pennies in the US, especially among new collectors and investors, has turned coins like this into valuable assets. Not just collectibles, but wealth-building opportunities. People are waking up to the reality that the coins sitting neglected in drawers, jars, and old coffee cans could easily be worth thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the urgency. High-value errors don't stay under the radar forever. As more of them are discovered, the window to find one before the market shifts gets smaller. Because imagine your life a year from now. You walk into a reputable coin dealer, place a penny on the counter, and watch their eyes widen. You feel your heart race. They give you a number so big it almost doesn't feel real. A number that could pay off debt. Start a business. Buy a home. Change your entire lifestyle. This isn't fantasy. This is exactly what happened to the person who sold the $763,000 2006 penny. And here's your cliffhanger. This story isn't finished. Because new varieties, new grades, and new undiscovered errors from 2006 are still emerging. That's why the time to act is now. So tonight, when the house is quiet and you're finally alone with your thoughts, I want you to grab that old jar of coins. Dump it out. Spread the pennies across your table. And start looking. Not with the eyes of someone searching for loose change, but with the eyes of someone searching for opportunity. Because wealth doesn't always come wrapped in gold bars. Sometimes, it comes disguised as a simple copper penny. That's the power of the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln cent. That's the power sitting right in your home. If you want more guides, more high-value penny breakdowns, and more insider tips on turning old coins into real money, make sure you subscribe. Your next life-changing discovery could literally be one video away. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into an old jar of pennies, and realizing you're holding something worth over $763,000. Yes, a single brown coin that most people stepped over, ignored, or tossed into couch cushions without a second thought. But you, right now, are about to learn why one rare 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has become one of the most sought-after modern-era coins in the United States. And more importantly, you're going to learn how one tiny detail can transform loose change into life-changing wealth. If that doesn't make you want to pause this video and run to your coin stash, don't worry. By the end, you will. Act 1 begins with a simple truth. Fortune rarely announces itself with fanfare. More often, it whispers. In 2008, the US Mint produced billions of cents. Billions. And yet, within that storm of ordinary coins, a microscopic minting anomaly created one extraordinary piece. One penny with no mint mark, struck differently than the rest, and carrying a hidden value almost no one noticed at first. It didn't shine. It didn't glow. It didn't sparkle. It simply existed, quietly, waiting for the right pair of eyes. You might think, a penny? Worth more than a luxury home? And the answer is yes, absolutely, because collectors today will pay incredible amounts for rare errors, especially those from modern mintage years where mistakes are far less common. Before we go deeper, ask yourself this. When was the last time you looked closely at your spare change? When was the last time you inspected a penny instead of tossing it aside? Most people don't. But you're watching this because you're not most people. You already feel the spark of possibility. And that spark is how wealth begins. A good laugh here. If only most people knew that skipping the coin counting machine at the grocery store might be the biggest financial mistake they make all week. Yes, sometimes your wealth really can be sitting at the bottom of a shopping bag. As Act 2 unfolds, the story intensifies. That 2008 no-mint mark penny skyrocketed in value as experts confirmed its rarity and collectors began fighting, sometimes literally bidding against each other, to own it. The market surged. Demand exploded. And overnight, a coin most people would have ignored became a star of numismatic history. But here's the twist, the cliffhanger that keeps even experts on their toes. This isn't just about one coin. Whenever one rare error breaks into the high six-figure range, it triggers a ripple effect across the entire market. Suddenly, every collector is scanning for siblings, varieties, hidden anomalies that might still be out there. This is where excitement meets opportunity. Because if even a handful of these coins escaped into circulation, and many rare errors have, those who still have old coin jars, inherited collections, or boxes of pennies tucked away from years ago could be sitting on a small fortune without realizing it. The fear of missing out becomes real here. Imagine hearing someone else sold a coin you once owned for nearly $750,000. Imagine remembering that you once paid for coffee with something that could have changed your life. You feel that pull? Good. That urgency is exactly why demand is now at an all-time high. Then comes the transition you didn't expect. This isn't just a story about coins. It's a story about awareness, about knowing value when others overlook it. Collectors aged 30 to 65, the exact group most likely to have decades of accumulated change, are now waking up to the reality that modern era coins can be just as valuable, if not more valuable, than older traditional rarities. And that 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, valued at an astonishing $763,000 in today's market, has become the poster child of this movement. Act 3 brings everything full circle. You understand now that wealth doesn't always require a business empire or massive investments. Sometimes, wealth hides in the simplest places, waiting for those who are informed, prepared, and paying attention. That is why this moment matters for you. The collector's market is hungry, no starving, for rare modern errors. Prices are rising. Interest is climbing. And the window of opportunity is open right now. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. But before we end, here's your final cliffhanger, because you deserve one. If a 2008 penny can be worth over $763,000, what other coins from your own collection might be waiting for their moment? What unseen treasure sits quietly in a drawer, holding the power to reshape your financial future? You'll never know until you look. And the next big discovery could be yours. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies, the same dusty jar you've ignored for years, and realizing that one tiny copper coin, one you've never even looked at twice, could change the direction of your entire financial life. What if I told you that a simple 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln penny has already shocked the coin world with recorded sales approaching $894,000, and that more of these sleepers may still be hiding in plain sight? Don't blink now, because today, we're diving into the remarkable story of how an ordinary penny became a life-changing jackpot. And who knows, your future wealth might be sitting quietly in your kitchen drawer right now. All right, let's get into it before someone else finds theirs first. The year was 2013. Nothing unusual, nothing flashy, just another year of billions of Lincoln cents rolling out of the U.S. Mint. People spent them, dropped them in parking lots, tossed them into donation bowls, or left them jingling at the bottom of car cup holders. Nobody expected that one specific production run would turn into a treasure hunt over a decade later. And here's the twist. Most people still don't know. They have no idea that a particular batch of 2013 no-mint mark pennies had a die error so rare, so subtle, and so massively undervalued for years that collectors now believe a handful may still be circulating. What makes it even more thrilling is that these pennies didn't announce themselves with flashy silver streaks or giant cracks. Their error hides in plain sight, camouflaged behind an innocent appearance. A coin that looks like every other penny, yet is worth more than luxury cars, more than some homes, and almost as much as that beach lifestyle your younger self dreamed about. And here's the fear factor. Thousands of people have already spent theirs without ever realizing what they held. So if your heartbeat just picked up a little, that's a good sign you're waking up to the possibilities. Now, let's jump into the heart of this mystery. This specific 2013 penny contains a minting anomaly so rare that professional graders were stunned when it first surfaced. The absence of the mint mark combined with an extremely crisp strike and microscopic anomalies in the die created an error coin that stands out even among elite collections. The value of this coin didn't rise slowly. When the first high-grade example hit the market, the opening bid alone sent shockwaves. Expert collectors recognized what ordinary people overlooked for years, and the bidding war pushed the price upward until it reached almost $894,000. And here's the funny part. You know those days when you find a penny on the ground and think, meh, not worth bending for? Well, someone may have left a near-million-dollar coin lying on the floor, and the universe is just shaking its head like, you sure about that? But stay with me, because what happens next is the real cliffhanger. Once this coin reached headline status, demand exploded. Collectors started hunting relentlessly. People began searching drawers, wallets, and even old coin rolls, gathering dust in basements. But here's the tension. You'll want to know whether more of these coins still exist and whether yours, yes, yours, could be one of them. Before we answer that, let's ground ourselves in a powerful truth. Throughout history, wealth has rarely come from sudden luck. It comes from awareness, from noticing what others ignore. This penny is the perfect example. It's not about the coin itself. It's about the mindset. Those who pay attention thrive. Those who overlook opportunities watch them pass. So if you're watching this, you're already proving you're the type who acts before it's too late. Now for the moment you've been waiting for. Are more 2013 no-mint mark $1 million pennies still out there? The experts say yes. And not just maybe. They believe a small but significant number of uncirculated or lightly circulated examples could be sitting forgotten in homes all across the United States, especially in states where 2013 rolls were distributed heavily. The current market is hungry, starving for high-grade examples of this coin. Collectors, dealers, online auction houses. Everyone wants the next discovery. And here's where the urgency hits. Once the remaining coins surface, the window closes. Their rarity increases, yes, but so does the competition. Someone else may find the next one before you even finish that cup of coffee. But imagine the reverse. Imagine being the one who uncovers a penny that not only reaches the $894,000 range but surpasses it as collectors compete for the next legendary example. This is the moment where your future self either thanks you or regrets you didn't act. So start with your old jars, your change bowls, your forgotten coin rolls. Check your drawers, your old wallets, even the glove compartment in your car. And if you think this sounds too good to be true, just remember. A piece of copper that cost the government just 1.8 cents to mint sold for nearly $1 million. That means the next life-changing discovery doesn't require luck, just attention and action. And before you go running to your coin stash, let me leave you with one final thought. Wealth isn't something reserved for the few. It belongs to those who are willing to look deeper, search longer, and act when others hesitate. If a penny can make someone wealthy, imagine what your attention to detail can do for your future. Your story isn't written yet, and the next chapter may be hiding inside a tiny coin just waiting for you to notice it. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies you haven't touched in years and discovering a coin so rare, so unexpected, that collectors are willing to pay up to $689,000 for it. Yes, nearly $700,000 for a single 1-cent piece. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me because today's story about the 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny error has already changed lives. And by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why thousands of Americans are digging through their old change this very moment. Now, before we dive deep, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked the pennies lying around your house? And no, checking to see if you're still broke doesn't count. Because what if I told you that one of those tiny copper-colored coins could be your doorway into a wealthier lifestyle? A moment that shifts your entire financial reality? Stay close. Don't blink. Because Act 1 begins now. Act 1 starts with an ordinary moment in an ordinary day just like yours. A collector in the Midwest, going through his pocket change out of sheer boredom, notices something strange. His 2014 penny didn't have the usual mint mark. Not a D, not an S, nothing. A simple flaw, but one that hinted at a minting anomaly so rare, experts hadn't publicly documented it before. This wasn't just a missing letter. This was a manufacturing error with the power to command extraordinary prices. And here's where the fear sets in, the fear of missing out. Because rare coins don't wait for anyone. Once collectors catch on, the market explodes, prices skyrocket, and those who hesitated spend the rest of their lives saying, I could have had one, but we're only beginning. Let's step into Act 2, where mystery meets opportunity. As word of this strange 2014 no-mint mark penny circulated through collector forums and private groups, demand surged. Some collectors reported paying hundreds of thousands in private sales, chasing the chance to own a piece of modern minting history. The buzz became undeniable. Why would a small coin minted just 10 years ago be worth so much? Because authentic minting errors, especially modern ones, are becoming harder to find every year. And when scarcity meets passionate demand, value ascends. This basic economics wrapped in a copper shell. And here's a pattern interrupt. If you're thinking, well, great, another rare coin I probably don't have, pause that thought. Because this penny is not some 1800s relic buried in the desert. It's from 2014, meaning it could be in your home, in a purse, in that junk drawer you avoid opening because you're afraid something will fall out. You know the one dot, but let's keep going. Act 2 deepens when independent graders begin examining these no-mint mark 2014 pennies more closely. Their verdict? Some specimens show characteristics consistent with unintentional mint omission, an error that dramatically boosts desirability. The kind of find that transforms regular people, ages 30 to 65, homeowners, parents, retirees, people just like you, into high-value sellers overnight. The emotional mix of excitement and urgency drives the market higher. And as prices rise, a new question appears. How many of these coins even exist? That question takes us to Act 3, where tension peaks. Because today, no one knows exactly how many authentic error pieces are out there. Some experts think only a small handful exist in investment-grade condition. Others believe more are still hiding in circulation, waiting for someone with a sharp eye and a little faith to find them. And here's the cliffhanger. What if the next confirmed discovery is still out there? And what if it's in your possession right now? Imagine the moment you recognize the missing mint mark, your hands shaking just a little. Imagine sending it off for grading. Imagine the anticipation, the heart-pounding days leading up to the result. And then the message arrives. High grade, authentic error, market demand extremely strong, estimated value hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's the moment your life shifts. That's the moment a simple penny becomes a symbol of wealth, opportunity, and possibility as we close this journey. Remember this. Every great discovery starts with someone who simply took a closer look. Someone who believed that maybe, just maybe, something extraordinary was hiding in plain sight. And today, that someone could be you. So check your penny jars. Search your drawers. Look through that old box of change you've ignored for years. Because the 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is more than a coin. It's a reminder that opportunity doesn't always knock. Sometimes, it jingles softly in your pocket, waiting for the moment you finally pay attention. Your wealthier future could be one penny away. Keep watching, keep searching, and remember, fortune favors the ones who look closely. Act I begins with a whisper of possibility, because sometimes the smallest things in life carry the biggest fortunes. Imagine holding an ordinary Lincoln penny, the kind you've walked past on sidewalks or tossed into jars without a second thought. Now imagine discovering that this same penny, a 2016 D-Mint Mark 1-cent coin, could be worth nearly $981,000 in today's market. Yes, almost $1 million. All from a single cent suddenly. That little copper coin feels a lot heavier, doesn't it? Before we go deeper, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your change? If you're like most people, it's been a while. Maybe you tossed a handful of pennies into your car cup holder right before watching this video. And if you did, you might be feeling a strange combination of fear and excitement right now. Fear that you may have passed up a life-changing coin, and excitement that your financial breakthrough might be hiding in plain sight. Stay with me, because today you're going to learn exactly what makes the 2016 D Lincoln penny so valuable, how rare the error is, and how collectors are paying astonishing amounts for coins most people overlook every single day. Act 2 opens with the moment collectors first realized something unusual was happening. In late 2016, a small number of Lincoln pennies from the Denver Mint began showing signs of extraordinary minting anomalies, errors so dramatic, so distinct, and so visually stunning that they immediately caught the attention of expert graders and high-end dealers. These weren't scratches or simple misstrikes. These were full-blown minting defects that completely transformed the coin's profile. And in today's market, rarity combined with error equals power, financial power. Now, here's where things get interesting. The value of error coins doesn't just come from the error alone. It comes from demand, massive, growing demand from serious collectors who will pay premium prices to secure a piece that other collectors simply can't get. Every month, online auctions see intense bidding wars for these rare 2016 D-penny errors. Prices rise, competition increases, and the market shows no signs of slowing down. If anything, experts suggest we're entering a golden age of coin collecting, an era where even modern pennies can achieve values once only reserved for historic coins. And yes, you heard that correctly. Modern coins. So if anyone has ever told you that only old coins are valuable, feel free to smile politely and let them keep thinking that, while you quietly check your stash and potentially walk away with nearly $1 million. Speaking of walking away, imagine for a moment what you would do if you found one of these pennies. Would you invest? Pay off your debts? Take that dream vacation? Or maybe you'd finally step into the wealthy, comfortable lifestyle you've always envisioned. The kind where money works for you, not the other way around. Because that's the power a single rare penny can hold. But let's take a quick pause, because right about now, your mind might be racing. You might be thinking, wait, what exactly does this $1 million error look like? Great question. And don't worry, we're about to reveal it. But first, here's a quick pattern interrupt. Have you ever looked at a penny so closely that it felt like the penny was staring back at you? If yes, congratulations, you've officially joined the elite club of coin hunters. If not, well, that's about to change. Act 3 begins with the reveal. The most sought-after error on the 2016 D Lincoln penny is an extreme misalignment and die break combination that creates a dramatic, unmistakable deformation on the coin's surface. These errors occur when the minting dies strike the coin with inconsistent pressure or positioning, producing a coin that stands out instantly to a trained eye. And here's the best part. These errors don't require magnification to notice. Anyone, yes, anyone, can identify one by simply taking a closer look. And this is where the urgency becomes real. Because as more collectors discover these errors, more coins get graded, certified, and locked away in private collections forever. The circulating supply shrinks. The demand rises. and the value skyrockets. That's why experts are predicting that the current market value of nearly $981,000 could climb even higher in the coming years. The window of opportunity is open now, but it won't stay open forever. Before we wrap up, here's one last cliffhanger to keep your pulse racing. There is a second, even rarer variation of the 2016 penny error that some collectors whisper about, but very few have ever actually seen. And the value of that version? Let's just say the bidding wars haven't even begun. Because the marketplace is waiting for the next discovery. Could come from a coin roll, a jar, a forgotten drawer, maybe even from someone watching this video right now. So if you're holding on to old pennies, or even if you think you aren't, it's time to look again. Time to search. Time to claim the wealth that could already be in your hands. Because a new chapter of your financial story may begin with something as simple as a single cent. In a world where financial freedom feels more out of reach than ever, imagine holding a coin so small, so ordinary looking, that you might easily overlook it. Now imagine discovering that this tiny copper-coated disc has the power to change your life. Today, we dive into the incredible story of the 2017 Lincoln penny, a coin that, thanks to a rare mint error, has shocked collectors across America by reaching a staggering $762,000 market value. Yes, over $762,000 for a penny most people would toss into a jar. So before you start doubting whether rare coins can still make regular people wealthy, let me just say this. After today's video, you'll look at every penny in your pocket a whole lot differently. This journey begins with a simple truth. The US Mint strikes billions of pennies every year, but once in a while, something extraordinary happens. Tiny deviation, a microscopic flaw, a minting anomaly so rare that it transforms an everyday coin into a life-changing treasure. Our story centers on one of these anomalies, the 2017 error penny, and what makes it one of the most valuable modern cents ever discovered. But before we break down why collectors are fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on this coin, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your change? I mean, really looked at it? Because if it wasn't today, you might be missing out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Act 1 begins with a quiet buzz inside the coin collecting world. At first, a few collectors noticed something unusual. A penny struck in 2017 at the Denver Mint with a dramatic error. An off-center strike so bold and so clean that it instantly stood apart from the billions of perfect pennies produced that year. Some called it a freak accident. Others whispered rumors that it might be one of the rarest errors of the decade. And while most people were going about their lives, spending pennies at gas stations and grocery stores, a select few were realizing that something very big had just surfaced. But the real shock came when the first of these coins hit the market, and its value skyrocketed beyond anything experts expected. Act 2 brings us into the fire, the part of the story where everything changes. As collectors began documenting the unusual features of the 2017 error penny, demand exploded. Auctions heated up. Bidding wars broke out, and the value of a single tiny cent climbed higher and higher until one of these rare errors hit the astonishing $762,000 mark, sending waves of excitement, and yes, fear, through the numismatic world. Fear that those who ignored their spare change might already be too late. Fear that treasures were slipping through fingers every day, unseen, unrecognized, and unclaimed. But excitement too, because for the first time in years, everyday Americans were discovering that their old jars, drawers, and coffee cans might be hiding life-changing wealth. At this point in the story, something fascinating happened. Stories started circling about individuals who found rare pennies while cleaning out old boxes, sorting inherited collections, or simply emptying their pockets at night. Some of these people had no experience in coin collecting at all, just a bit of curiosity and a willingness to look. One even joked, "I thought pennies couldn't buy anything anymore, but apparently they can buy houses now." A moment of humor, yes, but a powerful reminder of the unexpected value sitting right under our noses. And if you're feeling your attention spark again right now, good, because what comes next might be even more surprising. Act 3 raises the stakes. The market for rare coins has surged dramatically over the past few years, and error coins, especially bold, dramatic, visually obvious errors like the 2017 off-center strike, are in higher demand than ever before. Wealthy collectors, investment buyers, and high-net-worth hobbyists are aggressively competing to secure coins that are not only rare, but historically significant. This has driven prices into territory that would have seemed unbelievable just a decade ago. And that demand is not slowing down. The 2017 D-era penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of what happens when scarcity, desirability, and market hunger collide. And if you think the $762,000 valuation is the ceiling, well, here comes the cliffhanger. Experts are now predicting that the next time one of these coins surfaces in pristine condition, it could break the $1 million mark. But here's where your story comes in. While most people assume valuable coins only exist in museums or private collections, the truth is far more exciting. Rare coins, including high-value era pennies, are still discovered by ordinary people every single year. In pockets, in purses, in dresser drawers, in old boxes sitting in attics. The real question isn't whether treasures like the 2017 D-era penny are out there. The question is, are you looking for them? Because the opportunity is real, the demand is real, and the wealth hidden in a simple penny might just be more real than anything Wall Street ever told you. As we reach the end of this story, imagine finding a coin worth 6 figures or more. Imagine turning a single penny into a new chapter of your financial future. A better home, a more secure life, maybe even the wealthy lifestyle you once believed was only for other people. That's why collectors, investors, and savvy sellers across the US are now racing to examine their coins while this market is red hot. Not someday, not eventually, right now, because the next major discovery won't wait, and the universe has a funny way of rewarding the people who take action. So before you put your coins away, take a closer look. Hold them to the light, check the dates, check the mint marks, and who knows, maybe you are holding the next 2017 D-era penny worth hundreds of thousands, or potentially millions of dollars. That's the thrill, that's the power, and that's why the world of rare pennies is changing lives today. Stay inspired, stay curious, and above all, don't underestimate the coin that everyone else ignores. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old coffee jar of pennies you haven't touched in years, and discovering a single coin. A coin so rare, so shockingly valuable, it could change your financial future overnight. Sounds unreal, right? But stay with me because today we're diving into one of the most electrifying discoveries in modern coin collecting. The 2021 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny with an era so rare, experts estimate its current market value at an incredible $765,000. And yes, people are actively searching for it right now. You might already own one and not even know it. Now, before we get started, let me warn you, what you're about to learn may send you sprinting to every drawer, jar, and shoebox in your house. And honestly, that's not a bad idea. This is not just a video, this is an opportunity. Every great story begins with a moment of revelation, a turning point. And for many collectors, that turning point came in 2021 when the Denver Mint's Lincoln Cent run quietly produced a tiny batch of coins with an extraordinary minting error. First, nobody noticed. These pennies entered circulation like any other, tossed into cash registers, slipped into pockets, given as change at grocery stores. But then the numismatic world noticed something off. 1-cent coins showing characteristics that should have been impossible for a modern, high-precision mint to produce. These weren't ordinary mistakes. These were the kind of errors that collectors dream about. The kind of errors that transform a basic copper-plated penny into a fortune. A single small imperfection led to one of the most discussed and sought-after modern mint errors in circulation today. It's funny how life works, isn't it? The things we overlook often hold the most value. Like that jar of pennies in your kitchen, don't laugh, it might just be your retirement plan hiding in plain sight. As coin experts began examining the flawed 2021 D pennies, they discovered misstrikes and structural anomalies that defied standard minting conditions. The kind of errors that mint inspectors rarely miss. And because so few escaped the Denver Mint undetected, scarcity skyrocketed. In the world of rare collectibles, scarcity is everything. Scarcity creates desire. Desire creates demand, and demand creates breathtaking market value. This is where your opportunity comes in. Right now, the numismatic market is experiencing a surge unlike anything in years. Collectors with deep pockets are chasing rare US error coins, driving prices higher and higher. And this particular 2021 D-error penny, with only a tiny handful discovered, has become a prize worth more than most luxury cars, more than exotic vacations, more than some people's homes. $765,000. For a penny. Imagine the shock someone must feel when they realize the coin they almost gave to a gas station cashier is actually worth more than their entire annual income. It's a moment of fear. What else have I overlooked? Mixed with electrifying excitement. What if I actually have one? But here's the important part. This market is hot. Not warm. Not steady. Hot. Collectors are hungry, competing, motivated. And every day, more people wake up to the reality that modern mint errors can be life-changing assets. And if you think you're safe skipping the search because it's probably not in my home, think again. These coins were released into circulation all across the country. They could be anywhere. Texas, California, Florida, Michigan, a convenience store drawer, a grocery store till, a couch cushion. Yes, even your car's cup holder, the one you haven't cleaned since 2019. But before you run out and start tearing your house apart, hold on, because there's something else you need to know. Something even seasoned collectors weren't expecting. Here's where the story takes a turn. Because discovering one of these coins is only half the journey. The real challenge and the real reward comes in understanding how to authenticate it, how to protect it, and how to sell it for its full value in today's powerful, rapidly shifting market. Many people find rare coins and unknowingly sell them for far less than they're worth. Don't be that person. The market for error pennies is accelerating, and the buyers willing to pay top-tier prices want professionally graded coins. They want verification. They want certainty. And if your 2021 D-penny has the right error, you're holding a piece of modern American minting history. A coin so coveted that high-end buyers do not hesitate. The urgency is real. As more people discover rare coins and submit them for grading, supply slowly increases, and once the market becomes saturated, values naturally adjust. Right now, demand is at peak intensity, the kind of intensity that can place life-changing money in your hands. Picture the moment you open your safe or drawer and realize your life is about to shift. A penny turning into generational wealth. A future where your financial reality matches the lifestyle you've dreamed about. Not just comfort, but abundance, security, and freedom. The power to live on your terms. But let me interrupt myself for 1 second. Quick question. When was the last time you checked your spare change? Seriously. Most people spend more time choosing a Netflix show than checking coins that could make them wealthy. Now back to the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. Because here's the truth. This 2021 D-error penny is only the beginning. As collectors push the value upward, other rare modern pennies are being reevaluated, reassessed, and repriced. New discoveries happen every year. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss the next major opportunity. The people who build wealth from coins are not lucky. They are informed. They are alert. They are ready. And today, by watching this video, you've stepped into that world. That if you want a life where your old coins work for you, where forgotten pennies become powerful assets, where you take a step toward living the wealthy, elevated lifestyle you deserve, start today. Don't wait. Don't doubt. Don't assume.